p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show. Hi, yes, there. Good day. Whatever it is that you're doing, however you are sleeping or lying down or whatever it is that you're doing, you know what I'm saying. It's that time of the year. It's just about 10 days, 10 days to go before it's Christmas time, and I want to say good day to you. I also want to say season's greetings if you're now joining us and you did not join us for the week. And I also want to say to you that I hope that you remain safe. This is the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. Your host Leonard Gildarie, and we coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio here in Charlestown, Georgetown. We also coming to you live on 99.1 in Escobar and Demerara, and if you're in Berbice, it is 99.5. You also have an alternative Facebook or alternatives, if you will. Facebook, it's Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. I am gonna, I'm so excited. I'm not even concentrating here. Roger, you concentrating? Are you excited about this Christmas? Yeah, he says he doesn't know. He has to work on Christmas Day, and I said that's okay. There were times that when we had to do that too, and but it is a good thing. After he would have finished working, I think I'm gonna have him come over by me. And Raj, a wonderful person, all the way from India here in our studio. He's been working, doing this thing, and has a very good temperament. But talking about temperament, our Guyanese people do happen to have good temperaments too. In fact, they're the best people in the world, and that is something I would stick by. And as we go forward in this beautiful country, I would strongly urge that we continue to hold the same kind of attitude that we have on a different level though. We remain the very nice people that we are, but we got to be very aggressive, we got to be very assured, we got to be very firm when it comes to protecting this country and what we have and what belongs to us. It is very, very important to do that, or else we will remain the same place that we know ourselves to be over the years. The rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. We need to change that. And in a very short while, I will read to you something about life. Life is a very strange thing. We could only a good man told me a couple of days back, talk about the beauty of life, and the beauty of life is not what you do and how you live and so on, but what you do, your happiness, what you do for others and how you make them happy. That is the meaning of life. Also, you should know that the life, it's one time that you would have to walk the street in life, and you will not get another opportunity to do that. So when you walk it, make sure that you take that opportunity and make it count, leave a legacy. People will remember you because of that. And I'm just paraphrasing here, making up my own little quotes as I go here, but they're very profound meanings to those. The wise folks would have come up with that. Presidents would have spoken about it, and of course that very famous quote from former U.S. President there, JFK, and he would have said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can or what you've done for your country." And so, what have you done for your country lately? Have you been doing anything? So we are going to get down into it because it's today. I'm just going to throw back a little and just listen to people. And tomorrow I think GPL is going to be in the house again. I'm trying to get some others. Everybody's busy. The ministers are fanned out as we speak right now. Former presidents are meeting, with the exception, of course, David Granger, former president, but the rest of them, the living presidents of Guyana, that is meeting with Irfan Ali, our president of Guyana, and he's meeting with former president Jagdeo, Bar Jagdeo, Donald Ramatire and Sam Hines right now, and they're talking about ways we could develop this country. Of course, you would have known that the former President David Grains has declined the meeting. He wants to have the agenda, make it very clear what's the agenda all about. So that's what we have. So it's December the 15th, 2020, right here in our beautiful Guyana and right across this world. And this is what your newspaper, your largest selling newspaper, your favorite newspaper in Guyana, has to say on its front page today. Winston Brassington heads gas shore task force. You could recall he was the former head of NISIL, the National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited, that company that was tasked with overseeing investments and managing the assets of companies, state-owned companies in Guyana. He would have also been the chairman of the Guyana Power and Light Inc. until 2015 with the coalition coming in, and then he was let go. However, he's back right now and he's headed that gas to shore task force, which is going to look into that, moving that project forward. So he's back here in a very critical position here. You would have also known that the last couple of days they would have dropped charges. Soko would have dropped the charges against Brassington and Ashley Singh. Ashley Singh was a former Minister of Finance, now back in the same role. Um, uh, so ExxonMobil plans three well campaign on suspiciously awarded Kanji oil block, and this would be the oil blocks that's right next, or the oil block that's right next door to Stabroek there, and so they're going to go with the three well that they want to drill. And they believe that there's oil there, and that Exxon has a technology to determine very very quickly what are some of the best prospects that it should be drilling. Government fails to publish Redford's Payara review. This is a Canadian lady that came from a controversial background, according to the story here. And 3 months has passed since she would have reviewed this big project, the biggest project that Exxon wants to build, being one of the big ships here in the next 3 years. It's supposed to be here, and when it comes here, it's going to be producing about 220,000 barrels per day. Right about now, the one there's out there on the Exxon block there, it's just about 120,000 maximum that it has the capacity to drill right now, to pump, to produce. And so they would have hired this Canadian lady with a very poor track record, questionable track record, to review it, and in very due time she would have given her okay. So that report we are waiting on. Houston Shore Base unable to handle Liza Phase 1 demands, Raphael Trotman would have told Parliament a couple of years back. What's important is that we know that right about now, I think it is a Monishwara facility along the Houston area there. And you know that Houston area there, right along starting from where the former Gaffur is going down, and it is the Veras, the EC Vera. They would have sold their operations or closed their operations, and I think it's headed into oil right now. Right along that way, I think we also hearing that it's Pretty Paul Singh who would have also in the making a deal also to hand it over to his facility there at the Houston Magdum area there. And so that whole area is going. If you look right across from the Georgetown right on to what Houston, thereabouts, everything Magdum, Houston, everything is almost gone there to the oil activities. And that would come even as the fishing industry, which would have had operations in those areas there. They're complaining heavily about the shortage of fish right now. So we got to be very, very careful in what we're doing. Man found dead after visiting girlfriend. Suriname threatens to forcefully evict Cubans camped out to the border. There's I think the drain, I think it's just off Naikiri there, and that's the area with the ferry stelling on the Suriname side. And they would have wanted to come to Guyana, but couple hundred of them, but 600 of them, they were camped out there. But Guyana shut or delayed the reopening of that ferry operations, fearing there would be a deluge, and then it could lead to some diplomatic issues. If you bring them here and you have to send them onwards, you just can't bring 600 persons into the country just like that. We're already struggling with COVID-19, and I'm really, really sorry for them, because when you go to another country, and you're sitting there and things are very, very rough. Where the argument would have been used on the same Haitian story a couple of weeks back. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, don't forget you're tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. We will be opening the lines in a very short while. 6222222 is where you would send your texts to, and we could also read it out for you as we normally do every single day, 5 days a week. 2267453 is where you're going to call. So in a very short while, we will be opening the lines. Bodies of teen and woman recovered from watery graves. ExxonMobil makes pledge to reduce its global emissions output by 2025, but continues to pollute the local airspace with hundreds of toxic chemicals in the meantime. So this is something we not sure what ExxonMobil is doing, how it believes that, whether it believes that it is the people are happy by what has transpired with their management and so on. At the end of the day, we have to live with it, all for the sake of making profits that you hold an entire country at ransom. No, 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 no. We are going to be opening our mouth, and this is not going to be a good thing. Let me just see some of the big stories that are making the day today. There's some shocking story. One of them, you could recall that Kaieteur News would have reported about a 6-year-old girl from the East Kanji area. I think it's Good Banana, and I think, if I'm pronouncing it right. This little girl was found in some muddy area covered with mud. That's after she went missing. There's a twisted story that's coming out now. The mother, apparently she was separated from the child's father, and the father was about to pick up the child, and apparently the mother got wild. She admitted to police this morning that she hit the child in the head and she collapsed. She thought the child died, and she threw her into the swamp in this East Kanji area. The grandfather, who did not see her, this put a search party, and they found her in the swampy area about 500 yards away from the house. The mother has admitted to this now. If that child dies, it's murder charge right there and then. When I see things like this, especially with the two kids that got burned up in the homes, and I'm not sure what is happening. Are people getting crazy? Is something mental going on in this country? We have to continuously look at this situation here. I think after this COVID, or even during this COVID here, we have to seek, and this is where I'm going to raise a very controversial something. What is happening to our religious leaders? What role are they playing in moving this country forward? You can't be holding church services and everything, and when the people really do need the help, right about now, there's so many people that are suffering, not only financially but mentally and everything. There's a lot of pressure on people, and the church leaders, the mandir leaders, as well as the mosque leaders and everybody. They have to play roles. They have to start talking to the people. When last have you really reached out to the people, except asking them when you're going to come to the church or the mandir again or something? You need to reach out to them. If there's something that the church, if there was ever time for the church to prove itself, or the mandir or the mosque to prove itself, it is the time now. And if I missed any other religious leaders, forgive me. I think you're getting the point, that we have to, right about now, where people need the help, they need the support, and we have to do what is necessary in order to lessen this kind of pressure that our people are feeling. I know that everybody's feeling it. The business people are feeling it. The workers are feeling it. I think the public service workers, they would be asking for whether they're going to get something in terms of help. We will continue to follow that story. But what we do know is that the religious leaders got to step up to the plate. And young Ramson, Charles Ramson Jr., this is the Minister of Sports. I must take time out. I've been watching him very carefully, what he's doing, and he seems to be marching to the right tune. He was in two areas, two very tough areas, and this is one of them, is Agricola on the east bank of Demerara and Buxton on the east coast of Demerara. Those two areas, very good people, a lot of people that I know from those areas here. But it was also had a bad reputation in terms of criminal gangs and so on. And one, two people who would have gone there fled to those areas. hoping that it's a safe haven away from the police and so on. And young Ramson, as a Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, is taking his fight, his campaign into these areas, and he's walking into these areas here. We will bring more to you. I hope that I could chat with him and to find out a little more about his motivations, what is it that he really intends to achieve. But I like to see ministers, think out of the box, do things differently. Do not just sit in the office. As we speak right now, I think it's Dr. Vindya Prasad, Minister of Human Services, is somewhere down in the Escribble Coast there, meeting with people and so on. So they taken the government to the people, and that's something that I really like. It's been hard work. It's been very, very hard work, but it is a good thing. As we speak right now, there's another big case that I'm looking at here in Venezuela. Venezuela, 20 Venezuelans, at least 20 Venezuelans died after a ship headed to Trinidad with migrants sank. 20 bodies washed up on shore there, and that's not something that is very, very good. For those very poor, poverty, hard-hit families from the COVID-19, almost all families were hard hit. A lot of businesses and so on. But there's some good news for some of you now. The frontline workers who are providing an essential service to the key public service during the COVID-19, they can apply to the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security childcare subsidy. So it means that if you're working, if you're a domestic worker, you're considered a frontline worker as well. You're a critical essential worker. If you're working as a security guard at the security firms, you are also essential worker, market employees. And so the ministry is saying that you could ask if you have children to get some kind of a subsidy from the ministry there. The minister, Dr. Vindya Prasad, would have made the announcement just recently when she launched a 914 number. The 914, if you know somebody that is being affected in domestic violence or some kind of a situation which they're in danger, 914 is where you could call also to report that. You could talk to them there. It's a emergency hotline that was launched, and she's saying that with regards to the subsidy for the essential workers, members of the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Fire Service, frontline health workers, human services workers, domestic workers, security firm workers, and supermarket employees, among others. This says, you apply there and you could be able to get some help to look after your children while you're working. And so you could do the application. You could go to the ministry's website. You could also collect an application form from the ministry, Lamaha, or Lamaha Street, there's next door to the hospital, or you go right by where the fire service ministry has a office right next door to the fire service next to Starbuck Market here. You could be able to get it there. So I think that's about it when it comes to the big news here in the newspaper here. High Court to rule on President's power to appoint senior counsel. And the man who took this issue here to court, he's saying that the president cannot just willy-nilly just decide on his own to choose somebody to be conferred with silk, which is make them senior counsel. He says there has to be a procedure and you cannot deviate from that. And one of the man who took them to court there is Timothy Jonas, former attorney at law, and he would have been one of the faces coming out during the recent elections there. And so that case is going to take it. So happened that he recently received the senior counsel conferral by the president of Guyana, Irfan Ali. So that in itself is what we need to know, at least the major stories. That is, so many other things are happening, and so we will put a pause on that right now. It is 62222. You could send those text messages to, and you could also call us on 2267453. We could probably take a few calls before we head to a break, and when we come back, we do our normal thing. So I want to say before we do that, it's housekeeping as normal, and we say to our people right across this country of ours, I hope that you're keeping yourself safe, and that if you're going shopping, that you wear your mask. You could do the thing and look beautiful or look handsome. Make sure you wear your mask, wear whatever it is, come into Georgetown or wherever you're going to go shop, and wear those masks. keep your social distancing. I pulled alongside a minibus this morning, and I did see the driver. I couldn't see the bus number because it was in the other side of the lane, and I was signaling the lady to please put on your mask. The driver was without his mask. The lady that was sitting there wanted passengers, and I saw at least three other persons in the bus without mask, and I was signaling her to please put on your mask, and she zip up her bag and turn her face and say, what am I saying to her? And I shake my head because these are the kind of crazy things that you see happening. Apparently, they don't look at news. They're not seeing what's happening right across Europe and the other rest of the country, which are going through second lockdown. And it's a foregone conclusion now that this winter is going to be a very dark winter for the world when it comes to COVID-19 and so on. Do we have a call online? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're here. Go right ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And season greetings to you.
Season's greetings to you too, ma'am.
And I hope you would enjoy the season.
Yes. I want to have some rest.
Okay, well, you will.
Thank you.
Anyway, I would like to say something, and I don't know if you will believe me or you will shock to hear what I have to say.
Go ahead.
About 2 Saturdays back, I went to Freedom House at Annandale. I heard that...
Where? Annandale?
Yes.
They have a Freedom House in Annandale?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you don't look good, it's like a house. So just who know. It doesn't have a signing board or so. But anyway, Mr. Nandalal normally supposed to be, let's say, meeting the public. So I decided to go because I was very dissatisfied about how the NDC handled the digging of our drain. So I went there to see if I could get some kind of answers. And when my turn, I was the 26th person. And the 25th person before me, I think one couple who I see leave that table with a little pleasant face. And the tone of voice that Mr. Nandalal, the tone of voice Mr. Nandalal speaking with the people is not the same tone of voice he was speaking to the people when they were campaigning. That was one surprising thing. Anyway, when my turn go up and I said, sir, this, that, and my concern is about what the NDC have done to my drainage. They didn't only dig the drain wide, and remember, this is a domestic area. It's not. We don't have canals between them small streets for you to use.
And which area are you from?
I'm Good Hope.
Good Hope, okay.
And anyway, I was telling him how the man cutting right up to my parapet by the fence. And who is going to do that because I'm a senior citizen. I can't afford for going to do pile off and bring the dirt and fill back the place. And what NDC, what do they have to say about it? Well, the chairman for the NDC was right there. He asked me, he said, Mom, what you want me to do? I said I would like somebody to help me or tell me something because where they're supposed to dig the outlet where the water, normally the you call it the alleyway. The alleyway they should be digging. They dig the front of the place, the property, and the water all go down because I live to a corner. All the water settle. And the alleyways them are so clogged up. Why NDC is not digging the alleyway? They said that Haima can't go in the alleyway. I said, well then, why you don't do it manually? Pay the people them manually if you want to give out a contract. If you give out a contract and pay them even if it's 5,000 or 4,000, they're working, get it done. And the man said, he turned to the NDC chairman. The NDC chairman said, we don't have money for that. And which I fed up hearing that one tune. I said, but boss, what will happen because when rain fall, water flood up my yard steady. Why you don't clean it yourself? I said, I clean my part. Who more would I would got to clean 4 or 5 other people's place?
So what you want us, Sam?
Well,
What you want to
hear
do?
the story. Hear the
Uh-huh.
story. I asked why. At first, I asked. He said, "Why the water is blocking up?" I said, "Because people is not clearing the place. That's one, and some people take in the reserve, and that." He said, "Well, if you want, you take in the reserve too." I said, "So are you really telling me to take in the government reserve? Is that not illegal?" He said it's illegal, but we're dealing with a set of lawless people, and if you want taking, you take in too. You, I was
Wow.
shocked to hear
Uh-huh.
that. I must take in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if people take in squatters go in and squat, why they harassing the squatters when you telling me for taking the reserve?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get the point what I'm trying to say?
Yes, yes.
No, I am so disappointed with the NDC, and I was so disappointed with the way Mr. Nandalal advised me, or I just had to leave without no satisfaction.
All right, no problem. So did you do anything like call Freedom House or complain to anybody else or so?
Sweetheart, no, I didn't because I feel I'm trying devil in hell.
Not necessarily. You see, we got to start. I mean, I know Mr. Nanlal, and sometimes he has a big mouth. And I think when you're in politics too, because you're dealing with so many people and so on, you learn a kind of way to protect yourself. Not that I'm in defense of him. I understand how politicians work. I think that's what I want to say. But I think if you're to ask me what is it that you can do, I'm glad that you raised that because it is good that we sometimes hold the feet of our politicians to the fire. We cannot allow anybody to get away. And maybe he had a bad moment there, but I don't expect that from any politician, any minister, anybody. That we got to come when people come to you. You know, how much day people call me on this program here on my phone or something, and they want to just talk. Guy called me this morning. He says sometimes, I understand you can't do everything, but what I want you to know is that sometimes I just want to talk to somebody. And I think when people go before politicians, just want to talk to somebody. Maybe they have the solution in their head, but they just want to talk to that person. So,
I don't know. I was so frustrated that they not only hear what you have to say, but
mhm.
the damage is done, and I have to repair the damage. They didn't have the decency. Okay, mom, I'm going to take a complaint. I will come and see what they do.
All right,
That's
but
what
what
they
you
do.
could do, because I think because of how they're moving right now, the Ministry of Local Government as well as this is Nigel Darmland and a couple of the others, they're very, very proactive. Maybe they could say, whenever I get things done to Nigel Darmland, he moves on it very, very quickly. So does Colin Crowell. I must say those things about those two ministers. Very, very proactive. And even Vindy Posada. So, but I thank you very much for that.
And
You could,
one more thing,
uh-huh.
sir, is like I would like to make a suggestion. I don't know if it's a stupid one, but
No, 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 it's okay.
I
Go ahead.
I talking about Vindi Prasad make I remember. I would like so happily to know if this government could at least give the pensioners not if you don't want to give them more money, at least you give them a voucher like a value of a 10,000 for grocery.
Mhm.
Help cheer them up or help them in some way. And if you understand what I mean, or
No, no,
to
of course.
raise
In
the
in
money.
fact, I think
And
all governments want to do those kind of things. Do they have the resources? But I think if there's a will, there's a way,
but
right?
then there's another thing is like if they could put up like a recreation hall for senior citizens
I agree.
alone.
I agree with you. That's one thing I would love to see here. But thank you very much. I think so. The people on the who are listening, they says they are almost sure it's not a freedom place. It's a freedom house in that area you visited. It's probably a meeting place that Anand Lal was reached there because Freedom House. I think it's in different regions. I think Region Two got one of them. I think Barbie's got one of them, or State House. But Freedom House is only one Freedom House they got. But thank you very much for that, though. I'm going to
Okay
make
then,
sure that we
thank
take it,
you.
right? And if I don't
Okay,
talk back to you, enjoy your Christmas, right, ma'am?
Okay, then thank
Thank you
you.
very
Bye.
much, dear. But yes, I think that lady there, it just goes to show, sometimes I'm not sure what transpired there. I was not there, but we need to get ourselves awakened, when as politicians sue. But even as people too, we got to see both sides of the coin there. It's a very, very tough thing. But when we put into service and we have to serve the people, we got to learn patience. And there's so many things. But as we move forward as a country, these things will happen. But it should not be. It should not be that it's very prevalent. We should not have it. It's not something we should tolerate. But right about now, it is your insurance time. Don't worry, drive happy. Switch your insurance today and save big. Feel secure using CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Ornock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. We will take a break right now. When we come back, we will be opening lines again, 226-7453. And please do send those messages to 622-222. Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, do not touch those dials. We will be back very shortly.
Sleep in comfort this Christmas with a certain mattress from Singer. Buy a king-size mattress for the price of a queen and a queen size for the price of a double. Singer, at home, worldwide.
Get ready! Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings! 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen, fix up your laundry, get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
Golden Harvest aniseed bread plus pepper pot equals the perfect Guyanese tradition at Christmas. So make sure you pick up your Golden Harvest aniseed bread from any Demico outlet or your favorite outlet nationwide this Christmas. Golden Harvest bread, fresh and delicious. That's why everybody wants a piece of it.
This is a GPL public advisory. Main Street Commercial Office only accepting payment transactions. From Monday, December 14th, 2020 to Friday, December 18th, 2020, our Main Street office will only be accepting payment transactions and prepaid token purchases. No walk-in queries will be done. Business will resume as normal on Monday, December 21st, 2020. Our customers are therefore encouraged to use one of our commercial offices or payment agents closest to you. Bill Express, SurePay, Guyana Post Office, commercial banks, Scotiabank, Republic Bank Guyana Limited, Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, Demerara Bank, Citizens Bank, and Mobile Money Guyana. GPL regrets any inconvenience this change in operation may cause. However, we remain committed to continuously improving the quality of services offered to our customers. For more information and assistance, call the Customer Call Center telephone number 226-2600 or Public Relations Unit telephone number 225-1471.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to Kaieteur Radio and the Wake Up Guyana show with your host, Leonard Gildarie. And right about now, we are reading some messages from our people with regards to things that bother them and things that they just want to comment on. Good afternoon, Mr. Gregory. My admiration for Mr. Lal and his team on the Glenn Lal show increases with every show that I listen to. This man is a giant. You are too, of course. 2 questions for you, sir. When is Mr. Lal going to dedicate a period of his show calling out all the opposition, apnu for the silence, and what is going on with the oil, all the loans that the PPP taken, and the return of Braston and Passad to appointed ministry job? Apnu silent indicate complicity to me. Do you think that the lyrics and songs can corrupt young minds, which can create a mindset for the future generation? Think back to the beautiful music that we were brought up on. Beautiful music of love and caring about humanity for the world. Then compare it to what is playing across Guyana for the Guyanese brain to soak up. The Lord works in miraculous ways. Maybe wealth for Guyanese is not in his agenda. The Lord must know of the killings, robberies, corruption in every aspect of life, and total disregard for the rules and laws of Guyana. Why would he act it by giving some people wealth and an easy life? The devil will find work for idle hands, and things will probably get worse in Guyana. Might not necessarily agree with you there, sir. We have worked, Let me talk about this a little. We worked so hard, went through some very, very tough times. I think all over the world. The 80s was not such a time when we could recall things were so very easy. It was a time of blackouts. It was a time with when we had a government that was in there for like 27 years. That the people wanted change desperately. It was a time of uncertainty. It was a time with when flour and a couple of essential items were so very missing because they were restricted from entering the country. Foreign currency was short. I learned a big word during the 80s, word called retrenchment. The older folks will remember what that is. Remember retrenchment? Remember a place called GNTC, Guyana National Trading Corporation, I think it is, right at Camp Street where Citizen Bank is there right now? Yes. And you could recall those were the days whenever you open the newspaper and you see Helen Haynes and so on, you also would read about people being laid off jobs and so on. It was a very, very tough time. Going forward, when we would have gone through so much, I think it was all in preparation. That's me thinking so. It was all a preparation for where we should be having a good life. I mean, there's a lot of people who would have fled this land here in search of a better life. It was for economic reasons. And I did see Nigel Hughes, attorney at law. I might not necessarily subscribe everything to what Nigel Hughes does. He is well known in the court circuit as one of the better lawyers. But he was taking on Kit Nascimento on that very big program there with the Ethnic Relations Commission. There's a discussion ongoing now as to how we could, ease the ethnic tensions, improve a relationship in Guyana. And he would have made a very, very important point. He says, it wasn't that the people were fleeing here necessarily because of ethnic relations. It was more because of economic reasons. I would want to say to Mr. Hughes, too, there was a combination of reasons, maybe largely because of the economic side of things, but it was a lot of other things, too. I mean, you have a country that was rife with blackouts, crime. Well, all over the world has crime, but when it comes to Guyana, I mean, you can't walk around Stabroek as you like. And there were some bad things, when people are not doing it, you complain to the police and nothing is being done. You go to the hospital and feces overflowing some parts of it and so on. So there was a combination, in my view, of a lot of things that would have pushed people, and migration would have started back since in the 80s and so on, going back in the 70s and so. But in the 80s, it started picking up, and in the 90s, really kicked into gear. A lot of people would have left here and they're overseas. In fact, I think it's been estimated if there's about 750,000 persons in Guyana, maybe there's almost the equivalent of that for Guyanese origins and Guyanese who are living abroad. A lot of them living in the United States of America, Canada. Of course, we have a significant population right in the United Kingdom, and across the Caribbean, we have them scattered all over the place. Suriname has a big chunk. Venezuela had a big chunk until a lot of them started coming home back because of the economic hardship. But, we pause here. But just food for thought, huh? Do we have a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my dear. Go right ahead.
I like to complain about my neighbor. They're making a set of knives. They're doing wholesale business.
Where you living?
I'm living in East Coast in Success.
In Success there. There is, I can't remember, did you make any complaints to the police?
Plenty at BB station, but they only telling me that if it's music, then they could do something about it.
And so what kind of noise are they making?
At the truck, they packing stuff inside goods in boxes, showing it inside the truck, and then in the night, like,
they work in the gold bush or somewhere? They have,
No. Just like a wholesale business with beverages, different goods, stuff like that.
And when you talk to them, what it says?
They're doing it who, the police or the neighbor?
No. When you talk to the neighbor or so about that noise thing, what did they say?
the person that they never are doing the business, they're doing it more and they mocking me.
Yeah, that's the issue that we have because people are not too considerate. Do you have a name for them or something?
They are Mahindra.
Okay, and which
No,
street is
no.
this? Where is this?
This is Success Second Street.
Success Second Street. If you guys are listening there, the people calling you out, you got to be a little more considerate. If you see it continue for a little while, there
It's
is.
continuous, it's long, and then this morning they go till up to 6:11, I think, this morning, or 6:17 a.m. Right through whole night, whole morning.
All right, there is a commander. I think this is more of an issue with EPA because
And okay,
but there's a commander right at Sparnam police station there. I think it's Mr.
Sparnam.
Pyesram. It is.
Okay.
Maybe you could make a call, or if you want to drop by there, just have a chat with him. Just say that you ask us and we told you to speak with him. Maybe he could go across there and have a chat with them, because sometimes some of these things, people they don't pay attention to the.
Yeah, because they know I have a 13-month-old baby also, and still they keep doing it.
Yes, I
I
can
mean, during
understand
the
that.
day we understand it's a wholesale, so we don't say nothing during the day, but in the night, wee hours, man, excess time, it's overbearing.
No, I could tell you because of where we used to live in Grove, and we had an next-door neighbor. When they start with their music, it was like 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, and you're going to hear the dance, and them little wooden
Okay,
house.
yes.
When you start tramping there, so it vibrates in your house. It used to
Okay,
tell
well, I
me to.
understand because I'm going through with these goods and any truck lately. they
Right,
start in the truck.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't do that, make a complaint to the commander. If it doesn't work from there, maybe I'd have to ask you to write a letter to the editor or something. But do that for me, and we will see where it goes there from there. All right.
Okay, thanks
And if
for
you
your
don't talk
advice.
back, enjoy the rest of your season. Okay, my dear.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
And so, it's very, very sad when you hear a situation like that. We have people not very considerate. You're doing your business, you block up the street, and we have many of them right across the thing. You have trucks, you're revving it, you're doing whatever it is. But you want to uplift your life. When we go abroad, we see things, and there's certain things you can't do in some neighborhoods. Why would you, because you have some money and because you could talk to the police in a certain way, or you believe you have control of the police, you mustn't inconvenience everybody that lives in your neighborhood? You can't do that. You want to live your life, you want to live this country up, start doing things the right way, be considerate. So in the meantime, very, very quickly there, let me see some of the messages that are coming from our people here. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Please look into the Minister of Public Works about the state of road going on from the Parika Junction. It's a terrible state and no one does anything about it. I presume you're talking about the road leading to Hubu there. I'm going to raise the issue back again with them. Good afternoon, bro. Maybe I missed it, but can you say about the VAT on GT and TBL is not the amount, it's the principle, and it's from 4th of October, 4th of January 2021. I'm going to have to look back at this there. What is it that is said there? I get lost in that, but I'm going to get back some details on that. What is the cost for 9 billion barrels of oil? And who will pay for the earthquakes in time to come? Well, I'm not sure about the earthquakes and things like that, but there are a lot of implications when it comes to what are we getting or what we're not getting. And of course, it's still up in the air what kind of natural phenomenon that is going to be coming because of the drilling of the oil offshore there. I don't see too much of figures on that. Scientists might be able to tell us a little. Let me see here. Good day, Mr. Gildarie. Keep up the good work. I'd like to know what is the requirements to update a new ID card since I lost mine in 2000. I'm residing in Canada. Would like to know how long it would also take. Get hold of GCOM and maybe they could tell you. But what I know is that they were issuing ID cards that what people applied for during the run-up to the elections and so on. And they're now giving it out. As to whether, because of the COVID, they're taking new applications, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to get you a number for the Guyana Elections Commission, and maybe you could get on to the, in a very short while, I'm going to get those numbers to you. So just bear up with me very little, and I'm going to give that back to you. In the meantime, let me see. Hi, Lenny. Two topics for discussion with the relevant ministry. 25,001 laptop per household is good, but one employed person per household is better. one employed person per household is better. Reduce traffic and expedite customer service in 4 days, 10 hours a week. The benefits are many and productive. Thank you very much, and you're on the right track with that. Instead of giving a man the fish, give him the hook and let him catch the fish. I think that's what you're saying here. So don't if you could probably, while it might be preferable that you give some cash and maybe a laptop, if you could give somebody a job, I think I kind of like where you're headed with that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Please, okay, good. What is the NDC chairman doing who passed there daily and doing nothing about it? This is empirical here. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Why these government and the opposition is not saying or doing anything about the oil blocks? The only thing that they're talking about is the loans. When we have all this treasure here, what's happening to them? Are they crazy or they're just playing? So you all at Kaieteur News and Kaieteur Radio is doing a good job. God bless you and strength to carry on. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to make sure that Glenn Land knows about that. Hi, good afternoon, sir. Could you say how far is the cash grant? Thanks and have a blessed day. I think as of yesterday, I heard they were in the, I can't remember. Let me see. I'm going to tell you. I think it's on the East Coast. They were at the Anns Grove area. I could probably tell you that right now. Let me see. 1 second, please. Okay. I was told yesterday they're in the Clonbrook and the Anns Grove area. On the East Bank, they were on the Suze Linden Highway coming down, and they make the way down towards Georgetown, and where is going to be the issue with a lot of tenants and so in the Georgetown area. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes from there. In the meantime, do we have another caller? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, bro. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Long time no hear. Were you on vacation or something?
No, working a different shift, and so it has got me. When I come at home and you are, and I sleeping.
No. You got to take your rest. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Go ahead.
Well, for you and your family, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas in case I don't get back, and a Happy New Year, and all the staff at Kaieteur News.
Thank you, sir.
And may New Year next year be better for all of us.
It will be. I think we'll be in a good frame of mind to push it.
Couple of things. One, I listened to that lady, and I'd like her to know it's not a one-sided affair. It happens all over. I had a couple encounters with politicians. The difference between her and me is that when they raise their mouth more hard. They got one tone when they're campaigning and another tone when you're going to them, supposedly like if you're begging them for help. But I'm following Mr. Last program and a lot about the oil and what's going on. One of the things people are not aware of, and I am learning through your program, is that the simple thing of them bringing another ship to move more barrels of oil means it's adding to our cost. And sometimes what ExxonMobil is doing is beneficial for them and their shareholders the faster they work, but it's not necessarily beneficial for us, a country who will be existing here 20 years after they're finished. And so whoever is looking at what's going on with the oil and the cost that we have to share, somebody from this government or whoever it is needs to stop and slow ExxonMobil down. They cannot be doing everything in the best interest of them and their shareholders.
Well, you got a fundamental issue there, right? And the one thing that I got a serious issue with, the people come and says, look, they found oil and we got to use them because obviously they have the force right to develop it and so on. But they come to you and they says, look, I got to build a house, and we're gonna rent it out and we're gonna share the profits or whatever. I'm just giving you a simple analogy. But when they come and tell you that this FPSO or this ship that's going to do this drilling, this production of oil and store it and so on. If you know all around the world that they charge you $500 million for it and they hand you a bill of $4 billion, what are they giving? What are they doing to you? And remember, they got to take it out back from your oil. Yeah, plus everything else they're charging you for. Remember, you bring down a plane here, $10,000 for a ticket. Who pays $10,000 for a ticket?
Yeah, that's my point I'm making. Who is looking at these things from the government, or who in Guyana is looking at this? If you're telling me you're buying Bolton nuts to fix something there, how do I know where you're buying it from is the best price? Before you spend, we're supposed to have a discussion, and we're supposed to see the best prices available. And that's my problem with the past government and this government. Nobody seems to be doing anything about that. But they're just accepting a bill, which no proper person in the right sense would just accept a bill like that. And nobody's saying anything. All the programs, everything you have, that's the papers. Everybody get dumb saying it wasn't them. They just took all the artists. All of a sudden, Nobody did any of this because one thing each person is hiding under this government and the past government.
But there's a simple reason why they're doing that. I don't think people. I believe it's more of this. People don't
I
have an
believe it's this.
understanding.
I believe it's this. I believe because of the executive president that we have, everything you can point and say you took orders, and then there's nobody can take the executive president in office or out of office it to court. So each minister is shielding under the executive powers of the president. So everything they say is not them. We've given orders. Who can question the executive president under our constitution? That is the problem we have. I listen to your comments out here, brother.
Thank you very much for that. And yes, I think it's more of an issue. People are not getting the memo. They're not getting the message very, very clearly. If you start understanding that this thing here, this country, this little rock that we have here, or rock and lands and forests and whatever you want to call it, it belongs to you, and therefore when somebody comes strike a deal with you, the deal has to be that I'm going to get something out of it. You cannot take away my stuff. It is unbelievable that if I allow you to take away my stuff and I sit down and say nothing but it, what does that make me? And so when we sit here and we strike these deals with these people here and we don't say anything and a man gives you a bill and you take it and we sit there very, very quietly and then we complain about a little drain or about what is happening. If you start understanding that, you could drive a very, very big fancy vehicle, that you could have something. Yes, it's not going to happen overnight, but so you start getting my gist, what I'm saying. If you understand that this thing belongs to you, and this business belongs to you, and you're a shareholder in this business, and you have a right to ask your manager, sir, this cost that you give to me here for electricity, it's $400 million when it should be $2 million. You could be able to ask those questions. So when you're being given, and you're smart, you go to Google and a whole bunch of stuff there. You could call somebody and you could have an idea, fair idea whether you're being screwed or not. And when you don't say anything and we complain about it afterwards, we're going to end up like those other countries. The stories are there, many across the internet. If you look at what other countries have experienced, look at Trinidad, don't ask me. Look at Trinidad. Look at Venezuela. Yes, Venezuela, you could very well argue, yes, a lot of the problems that they have right there is brought on by the American sanctions and so on. But really, when you had all these windfall from the money, did you save for a rainy day? A rainy day means that you put it across, or when something happens, if you have a hard time, you lose your job, or so you could be able to put in your money and put your hands and pull out some cash there and use it until you could find another job. What have these countries done? What have Trinidad done? They abandoned agriculture and so on for many years, concentrated on the oil. When Guyanese people used to go across, somebody called me this morning and they said, you could talk about it the way that they treated Guyanese over the years. They used to put you in a bench, and Barbados put you in the bench and just send you home back. Trinidad, you go there. Oh, you Guyanese? No. Sit there. Why? What you were doing here? Do you have any show money? Remember the days of show money? So these things are very, very important. Do not forget your history. But when you come back to Guyana, look at the other examples, what's happening across the world. And we should not be making those same mistakes. If you want to really build this country, you got to be very serious about your business. This is your business. It is not anybody else's business. It's not only the government business. The government is just a manager that you would have hired and put there to look after you in your absence while you're at home doing your other stuff and so on. They have to understand that when they're sitting there, they're looking out for your interests, and they have to ensure that you get a good deal of whatever it is, agreements that they're entering into. So let us get this thing right. It is a very, very serious issue, and it's not for us to believe that it's Gildarie. Like I've always said, you have to ensure that you pay attention and start opening up your mouth. Do we have another caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
The first caller that called and talk about Nandalal.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I was a representative. I tell you again, when you see a man supposed to get a position and he may get it, he's carefree, but he will be on the job just to earn his wages or salary. That is what this government them do in this country. Now, when you talk about Exxon Mobil and all them things, let me give some credit. The opposition is saying that the now president has prepared that agreement and leave it. I don't think the man got it wrong, because, if...
No, I think I missed you there. You use an argument. Let me hear you back again.
He's saying that the president was Mr. Gildarie, who was the president before he was out. He prepared the agreement for ExxonMobil.
No. I don't think that's how it worked. They came to the country, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000. There was an agreement, I think, Janet Jagan signed. Because at that point in time, we didn't know we had oil. I think it was long suspected. Just signed an agreement that, look, if you find oil, this is what you think. Go explore. If you find anything, we can sit down back. This is what you give us. But remember, when you find oil, you got to come back to us and we got to negotiate. Now, look, this is what I want and so on. So 20 years later, you cannot expect, when you do a deal with somebody 20 years back and when you discover this, I can say, no, wait a minute. If you want to produce any oil, you got to have a different agreement with me. That's negotiation. So I think that agreement in which to produce oil was done, I think, in 2016 by the coalition government.
Okay. Now let me give some credit to, let me talk about, if you've been living in Barbados and you had to cross the bridge, and then you've been able to pay all them sum of money to cross that private bridge, that the government of this country is getting a drawback from that. What you would think about?
Well,
you wouldn't have feel nice. That man, name, what was his name again? Who stopped the money? What is the minister name? What was the public work?
Okay, that's David Patterson.
David Patterson. Let me give him some credit. That man helped poor people a lot. Mm-hmm. Because the Guyana government the Guyanese not getting nothing on the bridge, and the poor people couldn't cross the bridge. They have to suffer because the money was got to pay. The man helped a lot there. And Gildarie should have really seen, man. Where is he there? He is not a general secretary. He is the president of this country. Believe what I tell you. And everybody has seen that. Everybody has seen that. What Nandalal is doing there, Nandalal would not help the people of this country because he back down, he backlash. Mm-hmm. You understand me?
All right.
Let me give some credit. And let me tell you, that woman talk about his story about NDC. It's all over. And get this government for help the people with the NDC because all of them are friends and cronies.
All right, sir. Thank you. Any other points?
Let me talk about the traffic light now.
Uh-huh.
The traffic light, some millions of dollars you put the traffic light in place for help the people them.
Any particular area?
Yes, on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, right. There's along the new highway.
You got to get police or watchman, traffic light, boss. The advantage on the policeman.
Uh-huh.
Let me talk about it. After you spend some $1 million, and look, a couple days back, 4 vehicle damage on MMC, what you call a Felicity there. One vehicle tried to pass the other vehicle and was stopped at the light and ramming 5 vehicles. You think and the house will get away too?
I hear you.
You think that's fair enough for policeman, man? What me mean that's fair, yes. Get the police, give them plain clothes, and let them sit down and work. Because me work right in front of traffic light. And let me tell you, sir, nobody have no regard to the traffic light. Only if the police are there.
Let me ask a question, and this is not for you really. This is a rhetorical question to anybody that's listening. As citizens, what have you done about some of these complaints? Have you spoken to anybody about it?
I talked to the policeman who was standing there.
No. The policeman would be instructed to go there. Have you spoken to anybody? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have letters. I keep telling people, it's a very important thing. They read all the letters to the editor. If you could get some, you can probably do it. And I get a lot of people like that. You probably can't do it. You can't write. You don't know about the computers. So I'm not saying you, but there's a lot of other people. So let's start. We could start a movement. We could start, everything that bothers us. They got a guy in Diamond there. The guy could barely see and things like that. And we got plenty of them that has physical, issues and so on. But guess what? It doesn't stop them from opening up the mouth and talk. And yes, they get people and they send in letters and so on. Let us start doing that, because if we start doing it, instead of, we using this forum and so on, yes, it's good to raise it, but let us start putting some more pressure, right or wrong, because people would understand, hey, we need to fix this. And yes, the government is only in there for a couple morning, and we expect so much of them. And it's reasonable that we could expect so much. Is it realistic for them to deliver? That might be another issue by itself. But I hear what you're saying there, and thank you very much.
Some simple matter they're not looking after. That's what I tell you.
Right.
The NDC's matter them. That is very simple to them.
The NDC don't have an idea. You know why I get upset with the NDC? The NDC are not taking the responsibilities very seriously.
No,
if they start waking up and understand that they have powers, and instead of, hanging on to the coattails of politicians, they need to start doing what they're supposed to do. Imagine you have a legacy there. You're the NDC chairperson, and you could deliver services. And you could deliver services independently. We could have such a beautiful country if everybody do it. And you ain't got to blame Jack Dio or David Granger or Fanali for anything. You can have communities that are clean. Somebody, Bibi Shabir, all the way from Holland, the Netherlands, I think it is. And they live in there. Norway, I think she's from. And they live in there. And she says, when we sit down there and it's so clean, but we got to put our heads together, the neighbors and everybody. But guess what? If the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing and is not interested in the right hand, what the right hand is doing, we're going to have these kinds of issues, all right?
Yeah, so one more thing. I live in an end lot, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm supposed to have 4 fence because the end lot, I have to fill the end and then fill the other one on the 2 head, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, a man buy the land near to me and he break down my fence and carry it away.
Uh-huh.
And build a concrete fence.
Uh-huh.
My wood fence. And he built a wood fence. And then later on, he put zinc on the wood fence. And later on, he broke down back it and built a concrete fence 12 feet high.
Uh-huh.
12 feet high. And that is inside. And he opened a workshop, body workshop.
Uh-huh.
And that, he never asked me lease or license, who fences it and who is not, and he break it down, he carry it away and build a concrete fence 12 feet high. Should a man have a fence 12 feet high?
No, well, there's where it comes in for us to start, agitating a little more for some of these things here. The NDC got to make it very, very clear. Take out the picture, stand up with a placard in front of the NDC, take out the picture and send it to the newspaper. We'd love to hear you doing that, right?
Really want to talk to Mr. Law. But the man educate this country, let me tell you.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
That man is educating this country. What a man attack. The man attack nothing wrong. And enterprise man tell me that Leonard, one is PPP supporter, Leonard attack the PPP government. We say, that man attack anybody government?
No. I disagree with you. But Leonard attack everybody. Everybody is attack. Yeah. No, but he does it.
The man attack nobody. The man attack what is right.
All right. So thank you very much, sir. Have a pleasant rest of the day. If I don't speak to you before, make sure that you enjoy your Christmas. All right.
Happy Christmas to you too.
Thank you very much, dear. All the way, all along the east coast of Demerara. And right about now, it's your CARICOM insurance time. Don't worry. Drive happy. Switch your insurance today and save big. Feel secure using CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. We are going to be headed into a break right now. When we come back, more calls. We are going to be telling you a little more about some of the comments that we have. And continue sending those messages, 622-222, and you could call us, 226-7453. Stay tuned. Do not touch those dials.
Sleep in comfort this Christmas with a certain mattress from Singer. Buy a king-size mattress for the price of a queen and a queen size for the price of a double. Singer, at home, worldwide.
Get ready. Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings. 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen. Fix up your laundry. Get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome back to the Kaieteur Radio right here. You are tuned into where are we tuned into, Raj? Do you know the show? Do you know the name of the show? Yes, he says it's a Wake Up Guyana show. I wanted to wake him up too. He's a good kid, right? But you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host Leonard Gildarie. And right about now, we do happen to have some messages, some comments here, and this is coming all the way from overseas. Somewhere in North America there, Derek. Leonard, the sanctimonious gangster, refused to meet with the president of Guyana. Why? Sir, our country's path faces serious problems and challenges that call for putting in a place of comprehensive reform program because of this pandemic. My dear Guyana is in debt in the millions, in the billions because of this pandemic. Countries like Kuwait and those rich Arab states plus Switzerland are suffering the same fate, much less Guyana. Politicians in either party must put aside their difference, meet the president of the beautiful land for the sake of this nation. This COVID-19 is now a national security issue. No need for Grange to display selfish tendencies. He only made himself look inferior in the eyes of his followers, who are suffering tremendously. Sir, I love my country more than I love myself. When I travel around the world, I owe my gratitude to my ancestors that were enslaved in British Guyana, but provided an education for me to succeed overseas. I will never forsake my country. That's why I listen to your shows daily. Merry Christmas to you, sir, and the staff of KN News. Thank you very much for that, Derek. Mr. Gildarie, we now have to understand that renegotiating the Starbuck is not as easy as many think. This is geopolitics where a rich country protect and promote their interests at all costs. This is maybe what is tying the hands of the present government in that they do not want to upset the U.S. We all know why. But future blocks must be properly negotiated. Mr. Glenlal should consider this fact. Thank you very much for that. And, 2 and 3 sides to every stories. And it's good. It's good to have our discussion for us to understand that, we could be able to put these things, put it on the table, and let's discuss it and toss it over. I'm going to raise this issue with him. Good afternoon, sir. I agree with the last call. Barbie's Bridge fares need to reduce sooner as possible, or sooner as fast as possible. $400 is too much. Yes, I did pay $200 to cross the bridge over the weekend. On Sunday, when I crossed the river there, drove all the way to Perica there. It's $200. That's $1,900. If you want to get across the Berbice and you're paying in the Harbor Bridge there, it's $1,900 to cross the Harbor Bridge, Barbies River Bridge. I think it was about $2,100, and they brought it on. Good afternoon, public servant need a Christmas bonus, not just shoulders. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Do we have let me see, there's some other callers too online. Let me see. Hi Len, you were supposed to send me the info. Okay, good, I got it. Good afternoon, Leonard. This is Angelina Manny. As let your smile change the world, not the world change the smile. This is a little kid, 10 years old. Let me read that back. Angelina Manny, every single day, raise your bars a little when you see 10-year-olds 10-year-old children telling you this. Well, I won't say children anymore. She's a young lady there. Hi, good afternoon, Uncle Leonard. This is Angelina Manny. Have a good day. Let your smile change the world, not the world change the smile. Thank you very much, my dear. It means a lot. We, the people, have our work to get what they want in life. Thank you very much for whoever sent us. Do we have a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. Diego, right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let me set the radio off, simple.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Let me set out the radio later.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me carefully. People don't understand in this country what's going on. You understand me? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. You go ahead.
Listen, they invest in Barjagio time. How much money at the bridge at Borvis? NIS money, right?
Uh-huh.
And when I invest the money, the private people invest. I get more money a month, more than the NIS one. And them invest in nickel, right? They invest in nickel, right?
Uh-huh.
All that money disappeared because they had a global thing all over the world. NIS one, you know.
I'm very familiar with the issue. We reported on it. I'm very, very familiar with the issue.
And listen to me carefully. NIS got more money in that bridge. And the private people up some of the money. They are going to get more money a month when it's done, and the rest will left NIS again. That will show you what the PPP government has done there. You understand what I'm saying?
Very clear, yes.
And nickel, they got invest money. If you invest money in this country, sir, especially NIS money when people got to think, you invest with a company outside which got a background of some $1 billion, can take you money and pay you your interest and pay you back your money. And you put it back in NIS. You understand what's going on here?
Yes.
Now, the gentleman called just now. Everything he called, he tell me he was a representative. You know why he was a representative? I was a representative. I thought I make a factory manager get dismissed. I was a canine operator, and I make he get dismissed. So I don't know what his gentleman attack. He was a representative. Listen, what Glenn Lala showed this country up to 30 minutes, for everybody. What Glenn Lala showed, and you spit them out in simple terms that the man want to be in school, he can understand what you say.
Mm-hmm.
You get what's going on there?
Yeah, yes.
And I listen. What Robert Passara tried to do for tell the man keep your mouth shut, I'm going to sue you for so much. Well, let me tell you something. He's supposed to get knocked off on the job immediately. But because Barjagio will keep him there. Me, I tell you, because I'm some to see something. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When Barjagio, let me tell you something. Dama Robert Passad is like a traitor to this government. And let me tell you, the voters are watching them, you know. You have local government come up. You have 25 and 2025 election, and the voters are watching them. If the president knows that we get his money in the bank, come out and say, well, look, we got $10 billion, or we got $100 million. The nation going to know how much money we got in the bank. That's your either sell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, next thing again, you know, the person will tell you, text and tell about the earthquake. I was talking years, even me talking with neighbors, where must go. Me say, you know, any country what use oil, after 10 look at the thing what going to happen after 10, 15 years. You've got earthquake, you've got hurricane, you've got storm, because you wake up the bed at the bottom. And the sun drifting, I go different way. You see, people understand. Me now educated man, you know, Mr. Gildarie. I used to walk a well pump, and then I find out certain things, and the man showed me from the book. When you drill for water, it's a basin you go get at the bottom. You go pump out all those slush and throw it away. Now, each layer of the sun, like when we used to go to the river, is there like layer. And then you go start getting clear water with the sun at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
Filter the water. Now, when you dry the oil there, you take the toxin, the water from there, and throw it in the river, and the fish will disappear. You see, what is this, Nigeria, the oil? Very thing that people have to go catch fish. Hundreds of miles. There's stuff on TV, but they want to show you. Because the water gets toxic, they kill the fish go away. And the flare, what am I doing there? They make more damage to the ozone. Because we are almost not center, near to the center of the ozone. And when you see that bore, you see the heat wave of Chile, they export them in the park. Guyana going to face it by the 2030.
All right.
Heat body.
All right.
They will understand. What I like about that gentleman is talking. Let Barton come out and talk the plane, man. Tell the people them.
No problem, sir. I thank you very much for that, and as always, right?
Yes, and have a nice day, man.
You too. Thank you very much for that. So we get back to it. Good afternoon, sir. Would like you to follow up on the COVID-19 cash grant for some of the people in the regions who didn't get any. The officials promised to come back and they never did. Please speak out for us on the program, sir. Thanks. Nobody from the government and is saying anything to us. How can we get ours? Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for that. I'm trying to get some answers to those questions. So, good afternoon, sir. I called a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to visit you. I forgot. Okay, yeah, you can come visit me anytime. Leonard, you preach like pal, but we're not going to get anything from the oil. Mr. Trotman signed the documents. Thank you very much for that. I'm not sure. I do believe, like I've always said, don't let us look at anything that, it has already happened. We should always be very, very positive. I do believe if the right amount of pressure, we would have seen it during the 5 months when this country was at a very dark place for weeks in, it was twist and turn, and we were sitting here. I was sitting right in the studio here, and wondering when it's ever gonna, come to an end. But I think the people were convinced that it has to come to a head sometime or the other. And after a little while, I think we were seeing signs that the pressure was mounting. And some way or the other, somebody got to see the light, and we did see the light. I think GCOM came out. I think the GCOM chair came out and did it. There's going to be people who going to be disagreeing, but don't forget that we can't say nay, that things can't happen if we understand that those things belong to us, and that we should have a good part of the pie, a good part, a nice piece of the pie. And we deserve it, not only because we're good people, but because it belongs to us, and therefore we should have, we should benefit it. And some people would have been calling through this program here and says, I don't want to wait until I reach, or my grandchildren to think, why can't I benefit from it now? Why can't I see a little benefit coming through my NIS or some old age pension or something that we could do? Maybe we could travel free in public transportation. We could have free electricity, free water. Something could happen, but you could give it to me. And so there's a couple of things that we could do right now that is going to allow the older folks to enjoy themselves. So these are kind of fundamental issues that we have to look out for. Do we have a caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. Hi, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Leonard.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, two things I want to talk about quickly. The Ponzi scheme with Yuri Garcia. I think it's finished. The court ruled that I think it's a private matter.
No. The court ruled. I think the cases. There are two sets of cases. There's about 80 plus cases of fraud that the Yuri and his wife are facing. Then there are two more cases, anti-money laundering. These are special tough charges that I think was Soku themselves filed. But they went to court through the lawyer to have the court rule, the high court, saying that the police cannot put any more charges on them. They don't have any more right. And the high court says, no. You can't tell the police how to do the work and when to charge you and if to charge you or not. If they want to charge you, then you have to defend it. So the court went along in that direction, and that's where we at. But they are facing the court right now.
But good. But what I want to point out, they got a certain assemblies have got passed on the success.
We hear about that.
He bought four brand new Honda vehicles, he and his sons. And because of one of his members in his church who invested money, he got $5 million before the thing went, before it stopped, people stopped getting money. And there was another apostle there at LBI. Did
you tell the police? The police were asking for people to come forward and then say who
had
placed.
I went to CID headquarters already, and they don't have no interest in you. They're saying go to Nandalab.
Did you go to Nandalal?
I tried to reach him several times, but remember I have my work and my family. So
must call me through the switchboard, give me a number and so on. I would send it to him, and you could probably reach out because we did hear
several times and so on.
We
So
did
Mr.
hear
Glenn had
about
given you your cell
pastors.
number.
Right. We
And
did.
his number is on the Kaieteur newspaper, and I call him and he gave you me your number.
Right. We
And
did.
one more thing, Mr. Gildarie. I noticed this guy Kwame Gilbert. He's a former pastor of the Davis Street Church in New Testament. He is getting a lot of money when he was working with Barrett Jack the president. You know, among the money the man get, he left and went to Canada. Now he came back here, right? And he gets a lot of money to go and teach people. And we don't need men like them. The men get a lot of money out of taxpayers in this country. Kwame Gilbert, now he's no longer a pastor, but like apparently he and Jack, they are personal friends. And he gave him a job. The other day at Guyana teaching people. Those guys are very corrupt men. He and Robert Sad. Those men have to go.
All right, no problem. Any other points, sir?
No, thank you for keep up the good work, man.
Thank you very much.
No
Yes,
worries.
and if you don't talk back, enjoy you and your family the rest of the season. All right.
Sure. Same to you, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you very much. So I think what he's referring to there is some pastor named Patrick. I don't know who it is. All the way from Success there, and this was been a rumor that we've been hearing for a little while. The role of the pastors and other religious leaders in fooling the people. Well, sorry, let me just rephrase that. The role of the religious leaders in getting people, recruiting people, so they could take part and participate in this investment firm that was doing foreign exchange trading, and they were making so much of money that making even more money than some business down in New York there, and everybody decided to go on to it. Like I said before, I never opened the newspaper, Kaieteur newspaper, which I work with. It's the biggest newspaper, and there was not even an advertising something as lucrative as this. That's how good this thing was, and everybody got into it, and it was a big secret. Everybody knew about it except us. And the only way that we knew about it is when I think it was the securities folks would have issued notices that these people don't have any license to do these kinds of things, and therefore they didn't even have a company that was properly established. So how are you doing it? So there was a lot of tax issues and a lot of oversight issues with this entire thing. But these are the things that we allow in this country here. I want to make some money very quickly. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How are you? I want to highlight something on the Essequibo Coast. Their streets in the charity scheme very bad, and when going in the street, the holes are deep. If it have water, it reaches up to the corridor at the bottom. And the chairman of the NDC at Anna Regina, her son had a birthday party, and just sent in 2 tractors with crusher run in front of him in the street. But sorry, if you try to take a photo, you can, because the son have a camera high like electricity pole, and if you do that they might see. But sorry, if you have a report here, you could ask them to go see. The address is Sunflower Hotel in Charity Scheme. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work. We got to stop looking at neighbors and being scared of them, and start doing our work. But there's a reported on the Essequibo scheme there. I'm gonna call. Let me give you his number. His name is Romario Blair. And you could give Romario a call, and Romario would be more than happy to facilitate you there. 654-1700, 654-1700. And he's the reporter on the Essequibo Coast there for Kaieteur News. 654-1700, Essequibo Coast. Do we have a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. On the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm Kaieteur.
Yes, you are on the air right now. Go right ahead.
Right now, sir. Thank you so much. I think you should have give those callers a time frame of the concern, because you got other callers who want to get onto the issue.
I agree with you.
Right, sir. Because some of these callers lamented 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and people want to give their concern. Right.
Thank you.
I'm calling from Myconi.
Myconi, where Myconi?
Dundee, Myconi.
Dundee, yes, sir.
And my concern, I am working with Integrated Security Service.
Integrated Security, yes.
Right. I will start to work with them from the 22nd of December 2017. And to the date, they've taken up my NIS, and they never paid no money for my for my contribution.
Who are the owners of Integrated Security? I think we did get a name. Who are the owners?
The owners?
Uh-huh.
Well, because they are there are circles there. I think they call themselves some can. Black guy named Can get jail in America. Right?
All right.
Because it was a political something, I don't know. I'm a political appointed. I'm a counselor.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Uh-huh.
My concern is that they're taking out my money from that date on the 22nd of December 2017 to today's date, and no money paid for me. And I go to the NIS head branch.
When you go to Integrated Security Service, what did they say?
Them said on a very, very location. I meet with him. I go to head office, NIS head office.
No. When you went to Integrated Security, your boss at that time, and you asked them what happened to my money, what they said?
No, I don't know my boss, my friend.
But who are you, dude? So do you have a supervisor? Did you ask the supervisor?
Yes, my supervisor is telling us that they're going to fight for it. They're going to get to see my money paid. We are actually 3 years now.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I need to tell you here very quickly. I tell you what I was told by the Minister of Labor is that if anybody got a complaint about any security company, they need to go into his office and ask to see him, or maybe put the complaint to him. He says, if I don't have a complaint, I cannot act.
Yeah, but hey, my friend, I went to the boss, my labor officer at Region 5, Port Wellington. The labor minister went there, and they asked me what did and what not I did. They said we got to pay $3,000 to fight, to totally lawyer fight the case.
You got to pay $3,000 to have a lawyer fight your case?
My case, for them not paying for my money. And I have to do that, my friend.
Must call me after the show here. Let me get a number for you, and I'm going to pass over and let the minister look into it.
I'm not afraid of saying nothing. 221-2051.
What's it?
221-2051.
Oh, give me a cell number.
And my cell number 3-639-20, 639-9268.
9268?
639-92. Let me get a little confused because we're talking. 639-9268.
All right, I'm gonna pass this on to the people in authority and take it from there. All right.
Yes, I went up to the head office at Camp Street. They said they don't know who named Integrated Security, where that location is, and these people are running the Region 5 and 6.
Yeah. You know why? Because let me tell you why. We got a bunch of people there that's very, very corrupt. When you're giving these people contracts here and you're not paying your NIS and things like that, how did you get a compliance? And then NIS dropped the ball here. How did they get a compliance to be able, if you're not up to date with your payment of that? How did NIS, and me and them would go up the road for this. How did they issue a compliance? Nobody's saying anything. We dropping the ball and we passing the buck from one to another. Somebody got to take the blame for this.
Yeah, because here what happened. If you has a problem, if let me say me got 3 body work with me and not paying contribution, next thing you know, the NIS supervisor come here and then turn to the court.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. I will see how I can do it, right?
I take care of that, right?
Thank you very much. All the way from Dundee, Mike Coney there. I want to say good day to the folks there. We are going to take a very quick break and come back. Do not touch those dials. You're tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host, Leonard Gildarie.
This is a GPL public advisory. Main Street Commercial Office only accepting payment transactions. From Monday, December 14th, 2020 to Friday, December 18th, 2020, our Main Street office will only be accepting payment transactions and prepaid token purchases. No walk-in queries will be done. Business will resume as normal on Monday, December 21st, 2020. Our customers are therefore encouraged to use one of our commercial offices or payment agents closest to you. Bill Express, SurePay, Guyana Post Office, commercial banks, Scotiabank, Republic Bank Guyana Limited, Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, Demerara Bank, Citizens Bank, and Mobile Money Guyana. GPL regrets any inconvenience this change in operation may cause. However, we remain committed to continuously improving the quality of services offered to our customers. For more information and assistance, call the Customer Call Center telephone number 226-2600 or Public Relations Unit telephone number 225-1471.
Golden Harvest aniseed bread plus pepper pot equals the perfect Guyanese tradition at Christmas. So make sure you pick up your Golden Harvest aniseed bread from any Demico outlet or your favorite outlet nationwide this Christmas. Golden Harvest bread, fresh and delicious. That's why everybody wants a piece of it.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to Kaieteur Radio. Right now, when you tune in to the Wake Up Guyana show, did hear that little Christmas thing there that gives you a little thing but ginger beer and a hot fruit cake, lots of liquor in it. I mean, you could remember some of the grandmother used to love that thing. When you drink it as a little kid, eat it, take a bite of a piece of fruit cake. It had so much liquor in it that you said, "Wow, you got to sit down as a little kid there, and you feel a little high, and you don't even have to drink it. If you pass by your uncle there and he give you a little sip out of his glass, you said, "Wow, why are you drinking that thing? It doesn't taste good." But those were the good old days. But that little fruit cake there, filled with a lot of liquor. Oh my God, I can't remember, was it a throw in it, whether it's a 5-year-old or something. Good day, Mr. Gildarie. Keep up the good works. I would like to know could you say if the government has any plan to reintroduce government public transportation? I don't know. There's been talks about it for years now. I'm going to have to find out a little more. Good afternoon, Leonard. Does in case with Brazenton and Ashley Singh raise an eyebrow for having the case thrown out? Is that just the same thing happened with Gary Best? Before I move on, reading the rest of what this person says, Soku went in and says they don't want to proceed with this case anymore. I'm not sure the reason why. But the person continues, one can see clearly that the government's maneuvering in the judiciary. What is next to be thrown out? Secondly, when's the last time you heard that the PPPC talk about integrity commission? Is that place still wrong? What is the PPPC waiting for? During the APNU AFC time, the PPPC incessantly lambasted them about their declaration. Now the table turned and the same thing is happening. Thank you very much, Zir. Leonard, briefly, I'm so happy that the government has learned and they did not allow access from Suriname. The Suriname government is now removing those Cubans from Nigeria back to Paramaribo. Let's give credit to the leaders in Guyana. Very quickly, Mr. Gregory, yesterday you said that the security company Blackwater is in Guyana. If it is that, it's very scary. What are they in Guyana for? These guys are very steroid pumping killers. They committed a lot of atrocities in Iraq, but I think they've changed the company's name to Academy, or Academy, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Let's go. There's no caller right now. Let's see. Hi, Shabiru. Say nice to talk about Norway is so clean all over. You take part in the radio listening. Thank you very much, Bibi Shabiru. Has been with us, every single day and listening. And I hope Norway. You see, when you look at Norway and places like the Netherlands and so on, they have systems, they have government that works, and they pay attention to a lot of these programs like healthcare, education, sanitation and so on. They pay very, very close attention to the quality of life of the people. And if you could get that right, and it's a beautiful thing to be sitting in a tree-lined avenue, maybe on a bench, and you see children playing, and there's not, tall grasses or so on. I'm not saying that this is where we should be right away. It is where we have to aspire, because we're a relatively young country. These are countries that have been around for years and years and years. We're just about 200 years or so, thereabouts, 200-300 years old. These countries would have been around for a very long time. And they had a good head start on us, but we could aspire to that, and it's a good thing for us to make comparison and look and see where we can be. Mr. Gildarie, season's greetings to you, the staff of Kaieteur News, also to your listeners. The PNC has shown that it has no interest in nation building and social cohesion. The PNC has shown that it is their intention to keep the people divided and distrusting of each other. This is O.C. Rogers. A good day to you, O.C., wherever you are. I want to say, did see a lot of letters, people writing and so on, that O.C. should be next Consulate General in the United States on behalf of this government here. And he would have been very vocal during the elections, leading up during and after the elections. Do we have another caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon.
Because just now I was calling for good time. Remember, call last week.
Yes, sir.
And me just say you're seeing somebody on the line, and you don't answer the line.
No, we.
The here you say so somebody's on the line, and it was me.
No, I say there's somebody on the line. That's how I do it because
And
I
you
have
pull
to
me
ask him.
out.
Okay.
Thank God as I catch you back.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
2 points I want to make.
Uh-huh.
I was listening Saturday last at DTV8 with Cathy Hughes, Patterson, Raphael Trotman, and the other person on some interview they were taking. But it was a rebroadcast on DTV8.
Yes, sir.
And the question was asked to them about the school, and maybe around, but it was St. Ruth's High or something like that.
Yes.
Right? About the delay and some extra money paying. These people think that people are fools. And the explanation that Mr. Patterson and Mrs. Cathy Hughes gave, a small child will tell you something is wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say? That they never knew until the old building got to broke down before there was nobody foundation and whatsoever. What are you telling us? That you're making contract, signing contract, and you don't know where you build? Is that what they're saying there? If they listen to themselves. I believe that if I want to make a house, I will first get somebody who know about it and never get a concrete foundation breaking down a whole building to give me a good story on it. And then you will make a contract on it. But what they are telling me, that is what they were saying. That is the explanation these people give. They let me know how the building been there. Until it breaks down, then they realize they got to do four more work. So you are telling us, using taxpayer money, handing out a contract, but you don't know where you will.
Well, you know, you hit the nail on the head. I'm going to tell you a story.
Well, people say, there is one, two. The recount finish. They said no recount whatsoever. The no confidence vote whatsoever passed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Spend a lot of taxpayer, millions of dollars, for let the court tell them, say, 34 na majority of 65. That's what they did. Mm-hmm. 2, Mingo come up with a figure. But they got to court for the court appeal. But they not go with that. They not study that no more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the same deal with what they call what the word use again? Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Barrett phony with fraud. But they've been used fraud, extra fraud. Extra 100,000 extra he fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think it correct, how come it was not corresponding with the recount? Because nothing what the recount get was in the box Mingo sheet had. Way above line.
Right.
But they not study Dynamo. That been okay with them. 5 different times the election chairperson come with 5 different figures. Where all those figures come from? I only hope that when this case has been fight in court, that those intelligent guys like Leonard and so on know how to fight this case. We got 5 different figures, 5 different answers that man come. The man supposed to be in jail now. There is 2. 3, what bothers me, I'm living in Kanji, Morbies.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister rather, in a committee, wherever you go, they found the COVID farm or whatever they said. This was what they said. They will get soldiers, how much soldiers to colleague with the policemen, plus they get welfare workers that whatever walk the street, share out pamphlets, and teaching people about the COVID-19. That's what they said. Every day you have a program on NCN TV, every Thursday night that they're speaking about it. The point I'm making, Mr. Gildarie, those people at the top there making decisions don't know one single thing what taking place at the bottom. In Kanji here now, people walking left, right, and center with a face mask, without no face mask.
It's not only in Kanji alone, it's all over the country.
I want to ask them, what about this thing where they said we're going to get the soldier and the police and the community workers to walk and do flyers? You know, long now they get this COVID law where they say not a single policeman or a soldier or worker ever come in Kanji for walk with anything for tell people anything. But they tell you they talking on top there. These people don't know what's going on at the bottom. That is why Mr. Glenlal is right. And 3, Ethnic Relation Commission. That body want to throw away. How is that body throw it away based in taxpayers' money? Where were they during from March the 2nd till the 2nd of August? Where were they? What was taking place with social media? Where were they? 2, all those people that they have there making this thing about racial thing in the country, all those men they have there are racialists. They are racialists. And they have a conversation to tell us for the unity. The ERC, Mr. Gildarie, is a waste of taxpayers' money. I am telling you that.
All right. Thank you very much.
No, before you thank me, why I'm saying this, the problem is not we, the people at the bottom here with this racial thing. Let me tell you that. Measles, Coolie, Black, all of drift and eat together. The thing got to start with those politicians, the opposition and the government. They got to unite first. And let the people see that they unite first because they are the one creating the racialism down here. If the ethnic relation wants to hammer the head, the problem is with the politicians, not us down here. They are the one who created the use and all of them are the racists.
I thank you very much for that. I thank you very much for that.
Why is it you have the same interest for us Guyanese and you're fighting among one another about a problem? They're supposed to be uniting together of one common goal for us at the bottom here. And as long as they're fighting against one another, none of them have our interest. None of them.
All right, sir. And so thank you very much all the way from Berbice there. Have a pleasant rest of the day. And if I don't talk to you back again, a season to you, sir. All right? Thank you very much. So very quickly, let's see some of the things. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm a 19-year-old from Banakari, Long Creek, Linden Highway. I watch TV and listen to radio, but I never heard the president saying that person receiving the COVID-19 cash grant has to pay police officers and the people collecting their information. Yesterday, when my mother and grandfather were in the process of collecting the cash grant, the person given the COVID grant was very unpleasant after my mother refused to give them, the 2 police officers, money for the grant. What is sickening is that these officers made some statements, I quote, stupid buck people, and some more colorful language. The woman who was collecting the information, Miss Rufina Williams, and I'm going to have to do this now, in the secretary of the community, who was the CDC, she allowed these officers to disrespect the members of the community. She also asked for money too. Mr. Leonard, I don't know, living among these 3 allows police officer to call you, and she did use the name there again. This police officer, Mr. William, made to call my neighbor, come to complain to me. Mr. Leonard, I know that they're the 1 in a million officer good, but I have lost respect for the police force. Please see if you can help in any way. I'm going to have to send this to somebody. Forgive me, folks, just 1 second. This is a very serious thing, and I don't make play when it comes to people. When it comes to, let me see, just make sure that I get this here. Yes, I got it. Thank you very much for that. Do we have a call online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello? All right. That's a very, very serious statement about that. There's 2 statements that girl there. It's a 19-year-old girl all the way from Banakari, and there's on the Susdike Linden Highway. They're saying, 1, the police are taking bribe during the COVID-19 distribution. I hope this is nothing. I'm going to ensure that there's an investigation into this as 1. 2, the police officers who are supposed to be ensuring that this thing is secure. It's money that they're walking about. They're making disparaging statement, discriminatory statement, disrespectful statements to the citizens of Guyana. Why? Because they are of a particular ethnic background or something. You don't do that. You got to have respect. And if there's a case, there is going to be repercussions. I hope there are repercussions. This will have to end up in somebody's hands. I think I'm going to pass this over to our people there to investigate it. Leonard, good afternoon. Little Barbie, does 1 Guyana go there? Let me see. If the eat is, I don't understand what this person's saying. We have to be careful of the way things are going, that corruption doesn't bring Guyana into a place that is out of control. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I was born in Guyana, but I live in Netherlands, and it's very, very clean. And contractors saying that. Dear sir, the management of the Demerara Harbour needs to be professional, act responsibly. Many commuters are affected by the traffic rush, yes, but it's from both sides of the traffic. My concern is that if a time has been fixed to the closure of traffic in the morning, to be specific, which has changed from 7 to 7:30 to 6:15 to 7 a.m., they must reopen the one lane in time, so just as they close, not a single minute late. Presently, it's been reopened 1 hour after till 8 a.m., which I find to be very ridiculous. We are going to the west side are also affected, and on reaching to the work late, our pockets feel the pressure. Salaries are cut, and it's all due to the incompetence of the bridges management. They won't pay for a loss, neither will they waive the toll. It's costing us more for the incompetence, and this matter needs to be looked into. Thank you very much. I am going to send this to myself, and I'm going to pass this over to the relevant authorities there. Do we have a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
This is Kaieteur Radio?
Yeah, you on the Kaieteur Radio? You're live on radio right now. Go right ahead.
Okay, thanks for it. I live in a Success on the east coast of Demerara, right?
Success on the east coast, yes.
Yes, GWI come and a pipe was leaking. And then dig a hole and then bust the GT&T wire. And this 1 week now, and then I come look after it, and then I come look after the pipeline.
All right, GWI. Let me address the GWI issue right away. You said it's a GT&T issue that they have there too?
Yes, because why they was digging the hole out. They bust the cable.
Did anybody report this to?
I report the matter to GT&T.
And what is that?
Up down now, so 8 working days don't take to come.
All right, keep following with them. With regards to GWI, GWI says that if anybody has any complaints and nobody don't make any complaint, you need to call the PR department. If you don't get,
I make a complaint too.
What about the PR department? Call the public relations department and ask for one of them. They said they are willing to take complaint. It's just that nobody is making no complaint. We did invite them to the show here, and it says they have a preference of people making complaints to them.
Okay, thanks very much, right?
Thank you very much, and enjoy your season there, my brother. Bye-bye. So very, very quickly, let's see what they're saying. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I have a Toyota Hiace minivan. They have the back seat. I had my 2 wife and 2-month-old baby, and the police said the baby does not reach the age to travel in front, and that's the only vehicle that I have. Let me see if I got it back here. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I have a Toyota Hiace minivan. It has back seat. I had my wife and 2-month-old baby, and the police said the baby does not have the age to travel in the front, and that's the only vehicle that I have. You got to get a car seat, and you got to put that baby there. If that's the rule of it, you can't put a baby in the front seat, and especially with that age here. And so you got to, the boys themselves, you got to get a car seat, and if not, let the wife sit in the back. You cannot have them out in front with a baby there. It's very, very unsafe. It's not only for you, but for the baby. You got to take care of the little baby there, right? Do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Pretty good, man.
Now I have a problem. I live on the East Bank, and there are some guys selling pork on the road.
Where?
That is by the Diamond area there.
I think I know that does if you come out of the road, head there, if you head into Grove side.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Now the guys them tell me that pork is $400 a pound.
Uh-huh.
Now I purchased 4 pounds of pork. That is $1,600. But when I carry it home, I only get 3 pounds, sir.
I don't know what you could do there because you should have. We pay attention to the weight. That's why you have to pay attention to the weights and so.
Yeah, but when the guy weighed the thing for me, I told him this doesn't feel right.
And what he says,
man, what you pay for, that you get.
And this is at the head of there. And so when you go back, they refuted it.
They refuse it. The guy said he already gave me that. So I don't know what game playing out there, man.
All right, I don't know what to say to you, but I think they must get a message by now that you've made a complaint about them there.
Yeah, but they can't be doing this thing, my brother.
Well, it's not only that. So there's certain kind of scales that they aside from that, I think the authorities are warning out those blue scales, and so that you have there, you can't use them to be doing the kind of work that it's got to be configured. But a lot of these people here are giving the people a shaft from the kind of scales that they have, and I hope the Guyana Bureau of Standards do the work.
Well, what I get to understand from my friends, right, is that they tell you that the price is very low to draw you in, and then they rob you.
Yeah.
That's what I was made to understand.
Yes, yes.
They are fooling the people, my brother.
Or you could put them back to a test again if you want to buy some more pork. I'm not sure whether you want to go back there and see whether they rob you.
I would not go back there, sir, because there is only one time you could rob me. You can't rob me all the time.
Well, but you see that's the thing. Yeah? When people give us screwy service, we have the right to not use them anymore, and I think that's bad for business. Why would you want to make a $400 now and lose your customer for a very long time? Huh? That's stupid business, right? So I think we lost that call, and that's a very, very porky story there. The gentleman went there and bought 4 pounds of pork, $400 a piece, pound, and then ended up at 3 pounds. And the people are saying that, you got what you paid for. That's his story. Side of it, make sure that you check your weights. You have an obligation to check your weights as well. Make sure that it goes down. If it is that the scale has been fixed, that's another issue. But pay attention to what they're doing, because that's how, retailers and so a lot of them are very scampish. A lot of them do all kinds of things to shaft the people. So you got to be very careful. Pay attention. Hi, Mr. Leonard. What I really meant that the minivan does not have backseat, only the front. The funny thing is, if the baby is very small, and you have that only vehicle there, and the rules is that you can't fetch that baby there. I'm not sure what the rules say. You got to get a car seat, and I think that baby got to be strapped in. You can't have them in your hands. If the baby car seat is strapped in front, I think they could. I don't think they. You can't. Those are very strict things there. You got to be careful with that. And that's what I'm being told. But get some details. The traffic police and so. If you think, just get some more details and thing. But as far as I know, you need to protect that little baby. Mr. Gildarie, as they traveled on the Samantha boat coming from Puerto Rico to Suriname, the person who's selling the ticket don't give you back your $20 change, $380 per ticket. I bought 2 tickets, give her $1,000. She gave me back $200. Tell me she doesn't have $40 change. The next thing she sell, the next thing the selling expired things on the boat canteen. I bought a Sting and to expire. The lady working in the canteen should check it out. Transport and harbors should make a contact with them there and make some complaints. And if it doesn't work, Wanedjil is the man. Wanedjil is the man who's in charge of that whole thing there as a minister. But you're right. These are things you got to pay attention to. Demand your thing. You got to behave bad. If somebody, you go to some places, some cashier places and so in America and so, and you charge 5 cents and so, unless that cashier is in a good mood, you might very well be turned away. These are things very serious. You have to collect your change. They can't tell you ain't got change. What about if you charge them to? Are they going to take that? These are the issues. That is the point. So we are just about there, about 5. Could we make a very quick call? Very quickly. You have just about a couple of seconds. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, it is. Go right ahead, ma'am.
I would like to speak to you in person, please.
All right. You could call me on the switchboard maybe about 5 o'clock or so, 225-8491. We take it from there.
225
8491.
8491.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I think, I think that's where we have called it a wrap for the day there. It's a Wake Up Guyana show right here. If you missed the show, you could get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube as well. And it was a pleasure as always coming to you live. We just have about 10 days more before it's Christmas Day. And it's all the season. We shopping, we cleaning, we doing all kind of stuff. Who can afford to shop would at least be doing some cleaning, because the season dictates that. There's a couple of people who really suffering across this country, and those who are very fortunate or have a little more than others. Let's try to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. Let's try to share a little during the season. It's not ordinary times. It's the pandemic time, and our country would have gone through such a very, very tough year. And, just stay safe. Make sure that you wear your mask, but let us try to do a little thing, like I said before. Do not be Scrooge. Let us be a little helpful. Let us show it's a season of giving. It's not just only a talk. It's not only a cliche. Let it actually be a season of giving. It's not only about toys or so. It might be a pound of beef. It might be a pound of chicken. whatever it is that you can give, let us do that. Let us do something this Christmas. Let us prove to the world that we are people of big hearts. You know what I'm saying. So we come down to time to say goodbye. I want to say that it was a very good day for us today. It's always a pleasure. And coming down to next year, I must tell you that I will be out of commission for a couple of weeks, as in very early in January. I'm going to be telling you a little more about that. It's a medical issue. Put it off a very long time. I have to do that and get off of it. We are going to figure out a way in how we could get the show on the road, make sure that we keep it there so that people could have their voice. In the meantime, stay safe, do things the correct way, have a big heart, and have a pleasant rest of the day until we back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on Kaieteur Radio.
On it. She sent me to buy diapers and didn't tell me which one. No, I can't get on to she. Well, we just use this sleepy sensitive. Me know, but don't want buy Randy. The woman heading good. Next thing you know, I carry the wrong thing home and get put out. You can't go wrong with this. Look, check it out. It got a cutout for the newborn navel string and it don't leak. Plus, watch this. It's water woven and it dermatologically tested. What? What do you mean? Me never know, but my wife said it's better for the baby's skin. Plus, this pack enough in it and it's affordable. You had me at dermatologically, you know. Anyway, pass it.
Sleepy for mommies who look for the best.